man, I seen that dude eyes was rolling in the back of his head. Like I'm seeing all the different things on the internet and stuff like that. I'm seeing everybody complaining, everybody talking about how long, the count was, or why he didn't immediately start counting, and different things like that. You know what I mean? And this is boxing. You just have to you roll with the punches, man. Like.
Dillian Whyte is upset right now. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Let's jump into it. Link is in the description. Dillian Whyte, he seemed to be mad at everybody, but they got an exclusive interview. It says, the real deal Dillian Whyte. He says Deontay Wilder spouting nonsense. He tells Joseph Parker to stay in his place. He mad at Tyson Fury. He mad at the WBO. Let's get into what he says. He says, I see the pathetic, cowardly Deontay Wilder has been spouting out nonsense once again. He has turned down multiple career-high paydays to fight me in the past, and now he's trying to cover up his cowardice with bullshit and lies. And he's obviously responded to what Wilder said recently in interviews. I did a video about it. If you're not familiar with it, check those videos on the channel. He says Wilder and his bum squad are deluded and delusional. They're desperate to avoid fighting me at all costs. I offered him to fight me. Then he got more for fighting me than he got for fighting Luis King Kong Ortiz and Tyson Fury combined. I don't know about that, but says the truth of the matter is that he has been running for me from over 2 years. He has been running from me for over 2 years, and he can feel my hot breath on his neck. I've heard that he has been waking up in the middle of the night screaming, sweating and shaking and phoning in the WBC. He's calling the WBC and panicking, crying and begging them to keep me away from him. He is desperate to avoid facing me, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has already pleaded with the WBC to give him a franchise belt for the United States or even Alabama so that he could be heavyweight king in his own little yellow castle. I'm coming for you, Deontay, and when I catch you, I'm going to hurt you. Hey, I like Dillian Whyte. He's funny, bro. But, like, bruh, smash the like button. I like Deontay Wilder. I like Dillian Whyte. His banter is pretty funny. But, I mean, what he's saying is ridiculous. First of all, there's a lot of pocket watching and clout chasing and stuff. How's he know how much Wilder made versus Tyson Fury, a pay-per-view, which, they say numbers and stuff, but you don't know how, what people are getting behind the scenes and all that. I don't even care. That's why, we got to get boxing back to its rightful place. A lot of people talking about other people's money and OPP and purses and stuff. Like, we got to talk boxing, man. That's why I don't like to, I talk about it. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I definitely talk about these certain things in the sport of boxing, but I don't like to overly talk about it. And really the only reason I do it, just to keep it buck, is for views and to inform the public, because people seem to be interested in it. But me personally, I could give a fuck about it. I just want to see some good fights and that type of stuff. But I don't see how he would even know how much Wilder made, how much he netted in the Tyson Fury fight, in the Luis Ortiz fight, because even what's disclosed, like Danny Jacobs, they said he was going to get $2 million, according to the Nevada State commission paper, but then reports were saying he was getting more. Dan Rayfield of ESPN said Gennady Golovkin was slated to get $2 million, a laughable $2 million, but he was getting closer to 15. So, you don't really know how much people are getting in these different deals and stuff that are available now. But I don't think Wilder's been hiding and ducking. Like, just listen to what Dillian Whyte is saying. Why would you duck Dillian Whyte, who's a good fighter, but why would you duck Dillian Whyte to face Luis King Kong Ortiz, who is a southpaw, which creates havoc for a lot of fighters, and Tyson Fury, who's another fighter from that same region, from the UK, who's taller, bigger, and has a better resume. He fought Klitschko, he fought Wilder and stuff like that. And, he beat Derek Chisora before Dillian Whyte had a fight with Derek Chisora. And the thing is, Tyson Fury, if we're being honest, Tyson Fury beat him twice, and there was no, he just beat him twice. Dillian Whyte had, I thought he really lost the first fight, and then he set it right by knocking him out in the second fight. But Fury had already knocked out Derek Chisora. So it just, I know it sounds good, and people like the banter and stuff, but what Dillian Whyte is saying just doesn't make sense. If we look at it, we really analyze it. He's saying Wilder's scared, but if you do cowardice, if you do cowardly things and you're yellow belly, then you're gonna do yellow belly things. And to me, fighting Luis King Kong Ortiz when he's undefeated is not yellow belly. Fighting a 6'9", 6'10" Tyson Fury who could box his ass off, that's not yellow belly. So right there off rip, what Dillian Whyte is saying don't even make no sense. Because again, if somebody is naturally scary, just a scary individual, they're gonna do scary shit. They're not going to, oh yeah, let me fight these guys who are never been knocked out before, and nearly knock them both out. Where Dillian Whyte fought Anthony Joshua, who just got knocked out, and he got knocked out by Joshua. So, it sounds good, but I don't think he believes what he's really saying. I think he would fight Deontay Wilder, but, saying he's scared by fighting them, and if you listen to this article, he's mad at everyone. He said Parker needs to be quiet, because Parker said he wants a rematch. And it's funny because Dillian Whyte said, oh, why should I rematch him, whatever. And he's not looking in that way. But Joshua knocked him out, and he wants to rematch Joshua. Dillian Whyte has also been on record saying even if Joshua loses 10 times, 100 times, he still wants the AJ rematch because it's personal. So you don't want to rematch Joseph Parker. That was a good fight, and you guys hurt each other. He dropped Joseph Parker. Parker got up like the fucking Terminator and then, got back to it. And then he hurt and knocked Dillian Whyte out knocked him down on all fours in the final round, and the bell rung, and Dillian Whyte was kind of saved by the bell. So, it doesn't even make sense to say, why should I fight Joseph Parker? Why'd you fight Derek Chisora twice? Why were you saying that you want to fight AJ even if he loses, 100 times or some shit? So all this stuff is sounding sketch. He's also in here talking. He's mad because Usyk got ranked above him and Tyson Fury with the WBO. But see, this is the thing that I don't understand too. And, maybe he doesn't care. I don't know. But what he's doing, him and Eddie Hearn, they keep bashing the sanctioning bodies. And at the end of the day, I don't think that does you any favors trying to get ranked with the sanctioning bodies. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you're bashing them and talking about how they ranked Usyk. That's part of their rules. I don't really understand what Dillian Whyte is so upset about. You get what I'm saying? Like, Dillian Whyte has to be, he's a boxer. How is he not familiar with these things? The WBO, if you're a unified champion, especially undisputed, and you move up, you kind of have first dibs. That's how it is. Look at Terrence Crawford. Nobody at the welterweight division complained because Terrence Crawford, in his very first fight, see, I know my boxing. In his very first fight, he fought for the WBO belt at welterweight against Jeff Horn. I was there. I covered the fight live. The reason why nobody complained is because Terrence Crawford at the previous division, just underneath welterweight, was the man. He was a 140-pound champion. He had just beat Julius Ndongo to become undisputed. I was at that fight. So what's happening at cruiserweight, heavyweight with Usyk moving up? He just won the World Boxing Super Series. And then he knocked out Tony Bellew, who knocked out David Haye twice, another UK guy. So Usyk, he's earned, even though he hasn't actually fought there, he's earned this right, because even with the WBC, Tony Bellew was considered like the champion emeritus. The only reason his belt became vacant for Usyk is because Bellew went on to pursue 2 fights with David Haye. So he wanted the David Haye fights. So he kind of had to relinquish his belts because he wasn't fighting actively at cruiserweight. So Usyk did the right thing by actually fighting against Tony Bellew before he moved up, because Tony Bellew was the previous WBC champion before Usyk became undisputed. So when Bellew was willing to come back down to cruiserweight after the David Haye 2 fights, then he knocked him out too. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it that Usyk was the man at cruiserweight. Usyk destroyed Murat Gassiev, and we just watched Murat Gassiev beat Dorticos by stoppage, and we just seen Dorticos just knock out Andrew Tabiti in this year's World Boxing Super Series tournament. So yeah, Usyk, he's the man. He deserves, recognition. He deserves what he's, even though he hasn't fought it. I don't know how he'll do at heavyweight. I'm not saying that. I don't know how he'll do at heavyweight. It's a whole different division. But what I'm saying is, how you gonna be mad at Usyk? This is part of the WBO rules, but let's not front like Usyk ain't out here fighting in people's backyards and, kicking ass and taking names. You know what I'm saying? So all this Dillian Whyte rant is cool and it's fun and all that, but I don't believe what he's saying. Like he's saying, why should I rematch Parker? But he rematched Chisora. He wants to rematch Joshua. He's saying Wilder's calling the WBC scared. Why would he call him scared? But he's willing to fight Luis Ortiz when he's undefeated, Tyson Fury when he's undefeated, and then the fights are too close for comfort in some people's eyes, so he's about to fight him again. So, Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte, it's looking bad. To me, it really looks bad for them because they keep saying all this stuff, but it doesn't even sound believable at this point. What they're saying absolutely doesn't sound believable, at least to me. Dillian Whyte has not done any final eliminators. He didn't listen to Deontay Wilder. He didn't listen to the sanctioning bodies. He's talking shit basically about the sanctioning bodies or speaking out against them. And then he's wondering why the sanctioning bodies keep ranking people above him. And, Eddie Hearn's threatening to sue the WBC. I just don't see how this is going to help your case and help what you're trying to achieve. It's going to push you further from that. In my view, he should have did these final eliminators. Eddie Hearn didn't manage him in that way or didn't advise him to do this. They were looking at the box office and the quick cash. So there's really no one else to be mad at but them for not doing the Kubrat Pulev final eliminator. Then you could have been Joshua or Ruiz 2 winners mandatory along with Usyk because that's a unified champion. You could have fought Wilder when the WBC told you to. Could have fought Luis Ortiz when the WBC told you to. You could have fought Dominic Breazeale. I've already went over this time and time again. Dominic Breazeale said he'll fight you for the mandatory spot, even though he was already guaranteed a Deontay Wilder shot, and he got the Deontay Wilder shot. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's fun, these quotes and stuff, but it looks bad. But beyond that, link in the description, and he's already involved. It's going to look extreme. Listen to me, people. If he loses to Oscar Rivas or even has a tough fight, with how much he's interviewing in training camp, talking about every other heavyweight outside of Oscar Rivas, when we just seen Joshua lose in upset fashion to Andy Ruiz Jr., if he loses or gets knocked down or looks suspect against Oscar Rivas, that's going to be a major hit, especially if he loses, obviously. And then it'll be all this like complaining and commotion for what, So I think Dillian Whyte, I think he should probably focus, like Crawford said, focus on your fight before you don't make it to your fight. He's focused on Tyson Fury and Usyk and AJ and Ruiz and Tyson Fury and Parker and all this stuff. You got Oscar Rivas is real. Oscar Rivas beat Andy Ruiz in the amateurs. So, to each his own, though. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I just think Oscar Rivas is a dangerous fight, and, it's going to look extremely bad if Dillian Whyte loses his fight after all this, huffing and puffing he's been doing at every other person in the heavyweight division. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you're new, consider subscribing. We work in new media. We the future. Y'all know.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.